Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Find Out What's in Pelenta's Forest. I am Pelenta, this is my forest. So grab yourself a glass of water or a cup of tea and spend the next few minutes with me. And like I always tell you, don't believe everything you hear. Check your facts and do your own research. And once the butterflies bring us in, we will get talking about some of this real news. Don't you want to know what my butterflies are saying? Don't you want to know what my butterflies are talking? Ooh. Check this out. I have some juicy news to talk about this evening. And I think I want to get started with North Korea. Check this out. Kim Jong-un says that his country will not use its nuclear weapons unless its sovereignty is invaded. Now, I have a problem with that right off the bat because he has been threatening to nuke us for the last how long? And nobody in the United States of America has said anything about threatening his space or his sovereignty. But now he says, unless his sovereignty is invaded. Nobody has said nothing about trying to invade his place or his space, and he's just been talking crazy for years. And then listen, then he goes on to say he has announced his 5-year economic plan at a milestone Congress of North Korea's ruling party, which has entered its third day. Okay, so let me go on. He also said he is ready to improve ties with hostile nations. Hostile nations. He's the only person that's being hostile. Oh my goodness. And then he says that he wants to resolve talks and clear up and reduce misunderstandings and distrust. Okay, let me tell you how you resolve misunderstandings and distrust. Well, first of all, you apologize. That's usually a start. And then you start being nice to the people that you've been mean to. They probably want to put your butt on probation for a little while. And after you prove that you can behave, need I go on? Anyway, enough about that. Let's get on to something else here. Oh, this is juicy. Listen at this. This man admitted to hacking to steal TV and movie clips. Now listen at this. A Bahamian man pleaded guilty to hacking into celebrities' email accounts to steal unreleased movies and TV scripts. A crime that prosecutors say could have caused great harm to networks' movie studios if he had succeeded. And he was going to be selling all this stuff for hundreds and thousands of dollars. Now, his name is Alonzo Knowles, and he's 24. So, right off the bat, I was wondering, is he related to Beyonce? I just had to throw that in there. Because, Knowles is not a common last name. But listen to this. He had access to 130 celebrities in entertainment and sports media. He had access to private, sexually explicit photos and videos And he was in New York City. This is where they caught his butt. He was in New York City getting ready to sell 15 scripts for 80 grand to an undercover officer. That's how his butt got caught. And let me see, what else does it say here? That's it. But you know what? He pled guilty. And guess how long he's going to prison? You won't even believe me when I tell you. He's going to be doing about 27 to 33 months. That's it. That's it. Now let me say this again. He had over 15 movie scripts. Movies that we don't even know about yet, that they're still working on, that are going to be coming out years and years from now. He hacked in. He admitted he's guilty. He was about to get 80 grand. He got caught. He's going to jail. He's not even going to be in jail for 4 years. Okay? You steal some bubble gum or cigarettes, and you're going to jail for longer than that. You know what? These hackers, I'm not defending him, so please don't take it that way. But hackers are not idiots. They are super smart, and they have brilliant minds. Why aren't these hackers working for the CIA and the BBB and the ABC and the XYZ and the TT2? Oh, well, anyway, you know what I mean. They could be making billions and billions of dollars. And he's selling scripts trying to make 80 grand. Anyway, I think it's disgusting. Especially he's got access to people's personal stuff. Don't make no kind of sense. Moving right along. Oh, listen to this story. Remember back in 2007 and 2008, before the economy collapsed, there was this huge scandal with Bank of America and Countrywide Mortgage and Fannie Mae and Bernie Mac and all that stuff. Well, remember, it landed them in court. Now, despite all of the evidence, the Federal Appeals Court says that the evidence against Bank of America was insufficient, and they overturned the $1.2 billion fine. And listen at this headline. Court overturns $1.2 billion fine against Bank of America. Bank of America Corporation was not liable for fraud and subject to a penalty of more than $1.2 billion for its actions. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because the prosecutors had all kinds of evidence and everything, but Bank of America just got off scot-free. It seems like the more money that you have and the more corrupt things you do, the less you have to pay. And I don't have the story here right now, but there's another story that I'm going to talk about tomorrow, and it's about the CEO of another company. And it is some big, juicy drama. I'm going to talk about that on tomorrow's show. But getting to something else that you guys are really going to be interested in, because, you know, I'm always talking about Star Wars, but listen at this. Disneyland to dump Skyway Chalet Station for Star Wars. Star Wars Land is coming to Disneyland. Disneyland is heading into the future. So say goodbye to Skyway Chalet and hello to Star Wars Land. Now check this out. Star Wars Land is going to be 14 acres. Do you know how big that is? I mean, you know, the amusement park is way bigger than that, but still, it's going to be 14 acres in the northwestern part of the park, where earth movers since January have been busy. Now, Disneyland has not yet announced when it's going to open, but considering it's Star Wars and everybody loves Star Wars, can you imagine opening day? Honey, that place is going to be packed and it is going to be crazy. Now, moving on to some other super interesting news. I've been wanting to talk about this for a couple of weeks, but I didn't have it together. But listen at this. The U.S. starts to protect a new frontier, space. Now listen at this. The first salvo was a missile launched in 2007 by the Chinese that blew up a dead satellite and littered space with thousands of pieces of debris. Then in 2013, the Chinese launched another missile which made the Pentagon snap to attention, opening the possibility that outer space would become a new front in modern warfare. And we're not talking about war on the ground here, people. We're talking about war in space. We're literally moving into Star Trek, Star Wars, The Matrix. Now listen at this. This time, the rocket reached close to a far more distant orbit that just so happened to be where the United States parks its most sensitive national security satellites. And these satellites are used for tasks such as guiding precision bombs and spying on adversaries, as well as our fellow Americans. But we already knew that thanks to Edward Snowden, who Eric Holder says did America a great public service. But Pentagon officials say that Russia and China have been developing the capability to attack the United States in space and destroy our infrastructure. You know, one thing I don't understand is why are we always at each other's throats? I will never understand why we're always in this never-ending war. Do you notice that? Do you guys realize that? We are always fighting. We're always at war. It's always something. We're either mad at somebody because they're gay, or because they're too black, or they're too white, or they're Chinese, or they're Jewish, or they're not this religion that we want them to be. Is there ever going to be a day where we can just accept each other for what the other is and get along and move on and do what we're really here to do? Anyway, I'm not, you know how I like to rant and scream and yell. I'm not going to do it tonight. Anyway, the Pentagon fears that its satellites could end up being sitting ducks, and North Korea, here we go with Kim Jong-un again, North Korea has successfully jammed our satellites. Now, the Pentagon, in case you didn't know this, the Pentagon spends more than $22 billion on space programs. And they've also invested an additional $5 billion in space efforts this year alone, including another $2 billion for what is known as space control, which includes highly classified offensive programs. You know, this new program has been up and running for about 6 months now, but since it's highly classified, I can't tell you all the extra details because, you know, since I'm I can't reveal my source. That wouldn't be right. Getting on to some more really cool news. If you guys are into any horse racing or jockeys or anything, you're going to like this story. I thought this was really cool. 57-year-old jockey back in the saddle again. So check this out. Check it out. 57-year-old Hall of Fame rider Russell Bays, America's all-time winning jockey, broke his collarbone when his mount suffered a fatal breakdown on April 16th. He's missed 5 weeks of competition, but good news, he has since recovered. But despite the layoff, Bays still leads the jockey, standing with a 10-win advantage. Now listen, this is incredible. He's been riding like his whole life. Bays has 12,812 career victories and 53 Golden Gate riding titles. That's incredible. Can you believe that? Now he's fully recovered as of May 14th, and he was scheduled to ride 4 races. Now, I haven't checked it out since then. I guess I could look in the paper and see if he won. But with this kind of a record, if he lost, it wouldn't even matter. How can anybody beat that? 12,000 victories? Holy cow. That's unbelievable. Well, this is the last thing that I want to get to. I've been wanting to talk about this for a couple of weeks now too. But listen at this. There's a firm that seeks Rancho Seco's nuclear waste. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever heard about Rancho Seco, because a lot of these things, they're not talked about at the dinner table or over breakfast. But this is what I want to talk about: uranium. Now listen, Rancho Seco started generating energy in 1975, and it was shut down permanently in 1989. However, the nuclear waste is still sitting there. Now, on 2 separate occasions, private companies not associated with nuclear plants have offered to remove the material. Once in 2006, which fell through, and then again in 2012, which also failed after the U.S. Department of Interior denied a land lease and a right-of-way to cross American Indian land. See, the Native Americans didn't want that crap around there. But at Rancho Seco, 493 nuclear fuel assemblies are stored in concrete bunkers. The site is 27 miles south of Sacramento, and the assemblies hold 22 metric tons of uranium. Now, you know, I always wonder, see, when we start getting into these kinds of things, I always wonder, you know, if there is a real big massive disaster. Just imagine if a tornado came ripping through Sacramento and just smashed through Rancho Seco, and you got all this uranium and stuff flying off through the air. What's going to happen to us? It's like, do they think about the dangers when they start building up all this crazy stuff that is so deadly? Do we really need all this nuclear stuff? Why? We really don't. Seriously, think about it. We really don't need all this nuclear hazardous waste. We can do without it. We can manage without it. It is not something that we can't live without. It really isn't. Do your research. That's your homework, people. But listen, anyway, the ratepayers decided in 1989 that SMUD should get out of the nuclear business, and they have been trying ever since. That's 27 years. But they can't get out until the U.S. Department of Energy performs and removes the material from the site. Now, since closing, SMUD has shouldered the cost of maintaining and storing the nuclear material at a current cost. Okay, wait, my eyes are already starting to cross. Hold on. At a nuclear cost of $5 million a year. Now, see, you wonder where all of our money is going. You know, people are always saying, well, where's the money going? We don't get our roads fixed. We're losing money here, losing money there and there. Well, if you start reading the paper and just doing research and start digging, you'll start finding out where our money is going. It's going to places like Rancho Seco, you know, the space program, the Pentagon, the war in space that we don't hear about on the regular news. Now listen, SMUD has recovered some of the cost through federal government lawsuits that we also haven't heard about. The utility has been awarded so far $22 million. Now that's earlier this year, which is 2016, but the federal claims court has awarded them $53 million in 2014. Now, the waste control specialist application begins a lengthy process at the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and the facility will have to meet other challenges that will make any transition unlikely before the year of 2021. So now you're looking at 46 years. By 2021, we will be 46 years into trying to solve the Rancho Seco problem. And that's if we can even get this application process going. You know, it's just ridiculous. So, you know, you have people out there that are really trying to get things going, but there is so much red tape and so much nonsense that you have to go through to get these things done. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot my jokes. Dang it. I can't think of, let me see. I can't even think of anything funny to tell you right now because all the things I can tell you, you already know. You already know that starfish can turn their stomachs inside out. Let's see. You already know that there's oysters in some parts of the Caribbean that can climb trees. I didn't even know that oysters had arms and legs. That's kind of creepy. And let's see. Crickets, their ears are down by their knees. Yada, yada, yada. Penguins can turn freshwater, well, salt water into fresh water, the whole 9 yards. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I am so very grateful for everything. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. My book is available everywhere. Barnes & Noble, Yahoo, Amazon. You can also go to my website, PelentaArtForest.com. Angels passing through. And on that note, we are going to get out of here with my favorite, One Love. God bless you all. Thank you for watching. Find out what's in Pelenta's Forest. Many more shows to come. And I will see you next time. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And God bless you.